Happy Friday. Hello, welcome to Coffee Chat. I've got a fun coffee chat for you today. So over the past couple years, I've been asked to do a new hair tutorial. And I'm gonna be honest, I've always kind of hesitated doing hair tutorials because I don't feel like I do my hair very well. I've had like this hair insecurity, probably stemming back to my teen years when I had a naturally curly, like out of control hair. So anyway, I don't even like to do braids in my daughter's hair. I remember watching a YouTube video one time and like actually being in tears afterwards because I could not learn to French braid. I don't know, I'm just bad at hair. So anyway, I'm gonna do a hair curling tutorial today because I've been asked to do it so many times and I'm trying to get past this hump of thinking that things have to be perfect and in order to add value. So anyway, that's my own stuff. I'm just sharing all my stuff today. But anyway, I'm so happy it's Friday. It is absolutely pouring rain out right now. And it's gonna do that, I think, all day today. Craig asked me this morning if I wanted to go on date night tonight, and I was like, I think maybe we should hold off on this until tomorrow night when it's not so rainy. So it's kind of funny that I'm curling my hair on such a rainy day, but I'll be inside, so I don't care. So a couple of things. Good morning. Hi, thank you for tuning in. Hi, Julie. Julie says perimenopause is killing my hair. I am with you on that, girl. Mine's like the texture is changing. It's super weird. But anyway, if you have any questions during the tutorial, please feel free to drop them in the comments on the live and I'll be happy to answer them. But I also wanted to share with you something that I want to connect with you with because summer's around the corner. And this is something that can be really sensitive, but a lot of us who live in a warmer climate are going to be wearing less clothes, less coverage, right, to combat the heat. And I've heard from so many pretties over the years that this can be a source of insecurity because it triggers all of our body image issues, right? Like wearing shorts and sleeveless tops and all that stuff. So my team and I are working on a special project, but I need your feedback and I would love to hear from you. If you don't feel comfortable leaving feedback in the comments, then you are more than welcome to send me an email at info@getyourprettyon.com and you can put in the subject line coffee chat question. So I want this to be a resource that really just kind of connects with you and that, you know, I can take your feedback and create something that's going to be really valuable for you. So the questions that I want to ask you are, number one, what prevents you from feeling good in your body? Again, if you feel drawn to comment on this, please go ahead. And you can also, you know, kind of get the conversation going with other pretties in the group if you do want to comment. The second one is what causes you to hide or feel shame in your appearance? And these are just prompts. You don't have to answer these questions specifically, but you will kind of get the gist for them. The next one is if you could snap your fingers and fix the one thing that would change everything, what would that be for you? And I don't mean specifically like wearing shorts or a sleeveless top. I'm talking about like the deep down stuff too. How do you talk to the woman staring back at you in the mirror? You know, I had a coffee chat about this a couple weeks ago and my own struggles with the inner bully and how the first thing that I'm tempted to do when I look in the mirror is start attacking myself and saying these critical things. So do you play the comparison game to other women that you see in public or on social media? Do you struggle to appreciate how your body serves you? And a reminder, this is a judgment-free zone. As always, I love this group for that reason. So again, if you don't feel ready to leave your comments here, that's perfectly fine. But you can send those over to info@getyourprettyon.com. But I would love to hear from you here as well. All right, so let's get to the subject at hand. I am going to curl my hair. So let me adjust things here. So I have a mirror in front of me and I gotta grab my coffee because this is coffee chat after all. Okay, so the first question that I get asked, and I did a tutorial earlier this week on my personal Instagram where I did my spring makeup and talked a little bit about some things that are changing up with that. So if you wanna check that out, it is on my IGTV and it's on my personal Instagram. So just look up Allison Lamatis on Instagram and you'll find it there. But I got a lot of questions on that video about hair because I mentioned that I didn't curl my hair that day because it was too clean. So for me, I usually have to wait until I'm on like day 2 or day 3 hair in order for it to hold curl well. I do have a lot of natural texture in my hair. I have naturally kind of combination texture hair. It's a little bit frizzy, a little bit curly, a little bit wavy. It's kind of all the things. So I don't really wear it natural very often because I've tried everything, every product on the market, every technique, and I could never just kind of get it to behave in its natural state. So I usually straighten my hair on day 1 when I wash it. So I just use like my round brush hair dryer and a flat iron to kind of just smooth everything out. And then around day 2 or 3, I can start curling it. One of the products that I find really useful is I do a dry texturizer. Jackie says, I wish I'd heard that before. I spent my entire life thinking I could curl my hair because it wouldn't hold. Yes, so I'm the same way. If I try to curl it on day 1, even with all the texture and curl that I have in my hair, it's just not gonna hold, or it's gonna fall out in a few minutes. So I have to wait until it's got that little bit of dirt and oil build up in it. So one of the things that helps that process along is I do spray dry texturizer in my hair. This is one that I bought at the salon. I'm just gonna hold it up here so you can see. This is a dry texturizer. That's what it says. I don't know. It's a salon texturizer. Anyway, so I spray this usually around my root area just to give it a little bit of something to hold on to. And that's how I start. And again, my hair is about 2 to 3 days of dirt in it. So you can see already that texturizer is working really, really well. So I'm just gonna kind of let that dry, but work it into my roots a little bit. Because I do start curling close to the root, that's where I focus my dry texturizer, and I find that it gives me a little bit more volume too after I get done curling. So just let that dry for a minute. And the tools that I'm gonna be using are, number 1, my dry texturizer. Number 2, my handy dandy pick. And I have a story on this. And if my mother is watching, hello, Carol, she watches these. She'll recognize this because I think I stole it from her house. No, but seriously, this pick, if you're a girl of the 80s, you know all about the pick. Has been around since the 80s. And I used this to fix my hair when I was younger. And I don't know, I think when I was visiting her one time years ago, I ended up bringing it back home with me. So if she's wondering whatever happened to the red pick, it's mine now. I guess I should return it. Maybe she needs it. Okay. Anyway, I like using a pick because it gives me just kind of that, again, that lift in volume that you don't get if you kind of brush your hair out. So I'm going to be using this later, but right now I'm just trying to get any tangles out because if you're curling, you don't want tangles. Hi, Janie. She said, good morning. I missed the beginning. Don't you have curly hair naturally? I do. Yes, I have naturally curly hair. And I shared that I have different textures in my hair, so I don't wear it naturally curly very often because I've never actually found a product that works well for me. I have very fine hair and very curly hair and very frizzy hair. So all the products are usually either too heavy or they don't tame the frizz enough, or they work on one part of my head but not on another. So it's weird. And I have stick straight hair right here in the back of my head. It doesn't even curl. It's crazy. So weird. Anyway, when I was 14, my hair texture completely changed. Like puberty hit and it went crazy. So yes, back to the products I'm using. Dry texturizer, pick, curling iron. So I have a curling iron that is 1.5 inch barrel. This is the Bioionic Style Winder. I've had this one for a few years. My hair stylist used to use this. I have a new stylist now and she uses something different, but you don't have to have a fancy curling tool to do this. I like this one because it kind of makes it easy for me it has a little twisting feature on it. But you can use any regular curling wand. I prefer 1.5 inch barrel just to have like that bigger curl, but you could definitely do a 1 inch barrel too with this. So those are really the only products I'm going to be using today. I might set it with a little bit of hairspray. So this is Chi Enviro 54 hairspray. This is the hairspray I've used for years and years. It's kind of a lighter weight spray and it smells really, really good, which is so important, right? Okay, let's get started. I have a tendency on Fridays to go long on my coffee chats, and then I have a marketing call right after this. So everyone's sitting there waiting for me to show up, and I'm like, hey, you guys know I get carried away on Coffee Chat. All right, Karen says, I've spent hundreds on products with the same result as you. I feel so validated. Yes, all right. Yes, curly hair is so difficult. All right, so I usually start in the front of my hair. You'll see I have like a little bit of a side part going on here. I vary my part. I don't care what TikTokers say. I do middle part sometimes, I do side part sometimes. It just depends on the mood I'm in. But the way that I usually find my part is after I wash my hair, I just kind of take my pick and I go like this, and I see where it's naturally gonna fall, and then I just kind of let it do its thing. Sometimes I get a nice little middle part that happens right about there, but more often than not, I've worn a side part for so many years, it ends up parting right here. So I just go with the flow and do what comes naturally. I'm gonna start in the front and just kind of start grabbing sections of hair. So I grab a section about this size, sometimes a little bit smaller around my face. You'll see at the end, I frequently go back through and curl the hair around my face at the very end because that's the first pieces I do and it starts to lose curls. So I just kind of grab that right in the middle and I curl. If you have longer hair, you're probably not going to curl up this high, but I stop my curl just a few inches from my head, not even like an inch. The key to this is you're going to want to leave a little piece hanging out there at the end, because that you don't want to curl your hair the whole way down. All right, ta-da! All right, first curl done. And then I move on. I kind of do the top layers first, although you could certainly do the bottom layers first if you wanted to. And again, if you have any questions, please let me know. I will try to chat with you about some stuff going on lately. I've been working hardcore on my next book. It's been a process. This book that I'm writing now is more like personal story stuff, and it's been really emotional. I've kind of been a little bit irritable this week, I guess is a good word for it, but not outwardly toward other people, just kind of on my own. I just leave this in here for a couple of seconds. Anna says, what products are these again? So Anna, I use a dry texture spray first to give my hair just a little bit of extra hold and add a little bit of dirt into it. And the one I have is, I don't know how to say this brand, Davines? D-A-V-I-N-E-S. I think it's an Italian brand. And it's a dry texturizer that I bought at the salon. She used it on me and I was like, I gotta have that stuff. But I've used other dry texturizer sprays in the past and they all basically do the same thing. They just give you that little bit of hold, that little bit of texture. You could probably even use a dry shampoo, although that's kind of a little bit heavier in your hair and thicker. My hair doesn't hold curl as well with dry shampoo. You could even use hairspray, honestly. You don't have to have anything special. And then I just use my little pick here to kind of separate the pieces out. All right, working around my head. You can see I'm kind of grabbing bigger chunks of hair back here. And then I just feel the top part of this where the thickest hair is around the barrel. And when you kind of feel the heat coming through there, you know that it's curled. Lakita says, I love Chi Enviro spray. I do too. I get mine at TJ Maxx because they have the best price. Look at that. My hair's holding curl today. I'm so excited. I tried to curl it yesterday and it was way too clean. It just kind of fell out. And I always struggle with the back of my head. I'm like, if I could only have my stylist here to do this for me every single time. Wouldn't that be awesome? It'd be great if my husband was a hairstylist. I had surgery a couple months ago. He had to wash and dry my hair for me. That was pretty hilarious, I must say. We always laugh because when our girls were little, he would get them ready for school sometimes if I was out of town or something, and he had this one hairstyle that he could do with the girls. It was, he would put a bunch of gel in their hair, and then he would just like slick it straight back and put it in this super tight ponytail or bun at the back of their heads. And we've laughed about it years later. The girls were like, that was actually painful. He tried though. He gets points for trying. All right, so basically the left side of my hair is done. I'm just gonna kind of let that hang there while I work on the right side. The right side's a little bit trickier because I do the side part, so I kind of have to make sure this piece gets a little extra love. But you can see I basically did the same thing around the whole side of my head. And my right side does not curl as well as my left, which is weird, but I have different textures. I think I sleep on my right side, that's why. The hair's thinner on that side and not as curly. Anna says, I've had straight hair my whole life, and now with perimenopause, I have crazy, curly, hairy, frizzy, fine hair. Yeah, I know, it's crazy. Mine changed when I went through puberty at 14, which I was a late bloomer. Okay, so here's a little trick I'm gonna show you. So if you just kind of hold that curl there and let it cool off, it holds better. My hairstylist showed me that trick. And then after I had each of my kids, my hair changed again. And now in midlife, it's changing again. I'm gonna take less in that piece right there. So what else do I have going on today? I've got my marketing call right after this, which is always fun. Our marketing team for GYPO is brilliant, and we just basically talk about things like how our spring launch went and how we're doing on social media and what's connecting, and we discuss numbers, which I geek out on, and it's a lot of fun. I always look forward to it every month. It's a very creative process, and I love that. And then this afternoon, I'm gonna be shooting another video, which is gonna go live in our private spring group where I'm doing a Q&A. So I'll be answering lots of style-related questions over there. If you haven't joined the Spring Outfit Formulas capsule yet, you can still do that. You're still styling the outfits, and I realize it might not feel like spring in a lot of places. It doesn't feel like spring right here. Now it's pouring rain, but it's a little bit chilly. Good morning, Catherine. Catherine is our tech support manager, and she is the bomb. She figures everything out. All right, so the right side of my head always seems like it goes slower, and it's frizzier. And you may not be able to see that on camera, but it just doesn't curl the same. Cindy, I am using a 1.5 inch wand. And Amy, the brand of my curling iron is Bio-Ionic Style Winder, but you could basically use any 1.5 inch barrel curling iron. Man, it is putting the rain down out there. Not doing calls right now. My daughter has a clinic today. She's an equestrian, and her coach or her trainer is bringing in her college coach. I'm gonna say she went to SCAD, and he's gonna be doing a clinic with the girls this weekend, which is really fun and cool, but they're gonna have lots of rain for that. Her equestrian team is going to nationals next week, which is super exciting. It's in Georgia, Perry, Georgia. So we're gonna be traveling, which is, I feel like we've been traveling a lot lately. It's kind of like we got vaccinated and then it was game on again. All right. So I can't really see the back of my head. We're just taking our chances right now. I'm gonna hope I'm getting all of it. You know how they spin you around in the chair when you get your hair done, like, oh my gosh, look at the back, it looks so pretty. Yeah, I don't do that at home because I'm sure the back is not looking pretty. All right, so we're almost there, and then I'm gonna show you the technique that my stylist showed me that's been kind of a game changer, because I used to just run my fingers through my hair after I was done curling it. Spoiler alert, this little guy's gonna come back. He is coming back. All right, let me see. We still have some pieces back here I didn't get. And these are my straight hair pieces that I told you about earlier. So I want to hear from you. Are you curling your hair? Are you wearing it straight? What's your texture like? If you have any tips to share, please do that, because again, I have hairstyling insecurity. All right, we're almost there. We're almost there. Get this straight hair curled. I swear, if all my curl falls out in an hour, I'm gonna be so disappointed. All right. And again, if you missed it earlier, oh, Janie says if I straighten my hair, it would take at least 20 minutes. Then to curl it would take another 20 minutes. That's a lot of time, right? That's why I straighten my hair usually, I only wash my hair about twice a week at the most, because I feel like it is so high maintenance since it's curly. I'll just get these last little pieces in here. So saying if you missed it earlier, I said I did a spring makeup tutorial on my personal Instagram earlier this week. You can check that out if you're wanting to get some little tiny tweaks. I don't change up much in the spring. Just kind of go with a little bit of a fresher look. Okay, we're gonna call that done for now. So at this stage, I could do one of two things. It feels kind of, my curls feel crunchy, so I know that means I've got enough dirt in them that they're gonna kind of hold. But if it wasn't completely feeling like it was gonna hold curl, I could do a little bit more of this dry texturizer right now before this next step, but I don't think I need it today. So next step, and this is always the hairy part, pun intended, is I'm gonna go through my curls with my pick. So this is something that my hairstylist does that I never really did before. She has some special comb that she uses, but it basically does the same thing. So now that we've got all these beautiful curls done, we are gonna just run this through them. And I noticed one of the things that she does at this point is she kind of gives me a little bit of volume up here. Ta-da! Come on, right side. Behave today. And that is it. So just kind of give it a little bit of a scrunching up here. Take a little bit of this hairspray. Don't need a lot. And we are done. Yes. I think it's actually gonna hold today too. I can always tell when it's gonna hold and when it isn't. And today it's gonna behave. So this will fall a little bit. I won't have as much volume. So if you do start out, start on the side of having more volume instead of less, because we all know that the curl just kind of falls as the day goes on. So I kind of always start out with my big Texas hair and then I let it fall as the day goes on, but that is it. So I told you earlier that sometimes I have to just clean up a few of the little pieces around my face after I do the magical pick technique. Today I don't. I love it when things work out, like when my eyelashes go on when I'm doing a video, that's gold. But today, the hair gods are smiling upon me. All right, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you all for the amazing compliments. Thank you. I'm so pleased right now. You have no idea. I was super nervous about doing this. I'm like, oh, my hair is gonna turn out a wreck, but it didn't. It didn't. Yes. And please remember to leave your comments about the body image topic, because we would love to keep this conversation going, and especially with summer coming up. So I want to hear from you. All right, I hope you have a fabulous weekend, and thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate all of you so very, very much. Have an amazing day.